Hey, what's going on folks? My name is Gray, this is Consoletronix, where today our focus is going to turn to one of the least covered systems on this channel, but one that did more than most when it came to popularising the then embryonic gaming landscape of the 1980s and played its part in turning it into the multi-billion, multinational industry it is today. It is the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is the 128K plus 2 model with built-in tape deck and no rubber keys to worry about. And I know a lot of my specky owning chums out there are going to be angrily exclaiming that this thing isn't a real Spectrum as it was developed by Amstrad, but let me just go on record right now and stress that I know that. I simply have a preference for this all-in-one design. But I've never been one to bore you with technical specifications or computer jargon. We's all about the games here at Consoletronix. So what am I looking at today? Why, it's none other than the Magnificent 7. But no, I'm not talking about the lads from off We Design Pet. I'm talking about this. The Magnificent 7 compilation. A collection of some of the biggest hits that the mid-1980s had to offer. Brought to us by British distributor Ocean. And we begin with a film tie-in, because this is where the crap video game channels on YouTube stop and I start. It's Cobra. Few people today may remember the goofy 1986 Sylvester Stallone vehicle that this game is based on in the loosest sense of the word, but ask any self-respecting specky owner to name one of the system's best platform shooters and Cobra will invariably be a contender. Fast, fluid and harder than Rambo encased in concrete, but more importantly than all of that, it's infinitely better than the Commodore 64 port. A classic of its time this may be considered, but every time I play it I get PTSD flashbacks from playing Cauldron 2 as a kid. Seriously, all those who talk of NES game difficulty have never played some of these baffling home computer games we grew up with on this side of the pond. But like Cobra, it's worth investing the time required to get good. A less thought of sequel, WizKid, was released the same year as developers Sensible Software's best ever game, Sensible Soccer, but both of these oddball outings are definitely worth a bash. Well, wasn't that wonderful? But I'm not going to tell you what the next game is. I want you to guess. But here's a clue. It's head over heels. Get it? You know, I didn't think I'd ever say this about a Spectrum game, but I think I'm becoming obsessed with this title. For such a simple premise, piggybacking on the isometric game boom of the mid-80s, ushered in by the rare developed Saberwolf, I haven't been able to put this one down. What you're seeing on screen now is me first getting to grips with the controls, the grating sound effects and minimalist graphics. But bloody hell, give it a chance and it soon gets its hooks into you with its puzzle-laden platform perfection. Excellent game. Well, I've been very impressed with this lineup of games thus far, so inevitably it's a film tie-in game that lets the side down. Based on one of my favourite movies as a kid, The Adventures of Johnny Five, the military robot that comes to life, comes to the small screen in a fiddly and frustrating single-screen caper. Find paper clips and other rubbish in your quest to escape Nova Robotics. The kind of game I would have rinsed as a kid, but coming to it now with no nostalgia to draw upon makes it feel like a slog. Well, you've always got to have an odd duck in any compilation, but a 1985 video game based on the fruity pop collective Frankie Goes to Hollywood, who had enormous chart success at this time, more because of being cancelled, to use today's terminology, by the BBC than for any musical talent they possessed, and a free cassette featuring their most famous single, Relax, given away for free with the game, guaranteed sales. The game itself has you controlling a stick man robbing houses, for which Frankie gives you points and encouragement. Bloody rubbish.
Bloody Germans, they're everywhere. I just spotted one on the French border, and I heard the border guard ask him, occupation? And the German turned round and said, no, only visiting. But no time for crap jokes. It's time I made my great escape.
I've often wondered what modern movie-watching audiences in the US think of 1963's The Great Escape, starring Steve McQueen, Charles Bronson and Richard Attenborough, as here in the UK it's still really popular, so much so that for many Christmas isn't Christmas without watching it on the telly. But what of the game based on a film, based on a book? Well, I bounced off the PS2 port some years back, and for that reason never tried the 8-bit computer version, and despite not having a Scooby-Doo what's going on, I found myself drawn to its simple, if unforgiving charm, one I will be sure to return to. And for the 7th game we have a goosey on the longer running than you think breakout clone Arkanoid from Taito, with sequels, ports and updates available for just about every system you could name. The instantly pick up and play simplicity of the game is what gaming used to be all about. A true classic, whatever platform you play it on. But despite looking at the full set of 7 games on this collection, we're not quite finished here yet, as Ocean, as a bonus, will include an 8th game free. But what is it, I hear you ask? Why, it's none other than Konami arcade classic, Yi-Ya Kung Fu. Now, full disclosure, I've never actually played Yi-Ya Kung Fu. I'll give you all a moment to collect yourselves and pick your jaws up off the floor. So you are now about to witness my first time ever playing what in its day was considered a top of the fighting game class beat 'em up. Wish me luck, folks. I think I'm going to need it. Well, either this game is really easy, or my cat-like gaming reflexes are being brought to bear because I was breezing through my opponents until coming up against the Lunk brothers. And you know, I was enjoying my time with it to boot. I believe the NES had the more well-known port, but it looks like a little talked about sequel, Yi-Ya Kung Fu 2, was a European computer exclusive. And now, I really want to try it. But first I'm going to have another crack at this. It's really, really good. So there we have it, folks. This has been my look at the 8 games contained within the magnificent 7 collection. A real eye-opener, has to be said, as it's not just my Spectrum here, which has been sitting on the shelf gathering dust over the years. You can also include all my 8-bit micros, such as the Amstrad and even the 16-bit Amiga. And despite picking up this compilation a few years back, thinking I might be able to get a few cheap laughs out of it, I've generally come away with a newfound respect for the Spectrum, as I will be going back to play all the games contained within here. Well, except for maybe the adventures of Frankie and his bum chums, but all the others anyway. But before I get bogged down playing crap game after crap game, looking for those hidden gems, I want you guys to suggest to me some Spectrum, Commodore 64, Amstrad, even Amiga games that you think I would like, I would enjoy, that I should check out. And if enough titles get suggested, I might do a big video here looking at all your suggestions And let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Is that something you would like to see? So with the light beginning to fade here, I think it's time to end this. So thank you very much for watching. More videos coming your way soon. So like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.